Hello everyone. Today we have an eminent guest, Mr. Satish Borkhade Sir. Presently working with Orar Flavors, event organized by Mr. Praful, Mr. Shripad and Mr. Sachin.
Uh, I hope you all are keeping safe and taking proper care of yourself and your family members. I know this is a very critical time and we are going through unprecedented events and the time. First of all, thanks to all you young graduates who has come up with this idea of a webinar series for particularly for the food tech students, and definitely this is going to help all the food tech students, and this will be a great learning opportunity sitting at the home. Before starting the session, I would like to notify a few points here. This presentation, what I have made, is little bit bulky. The reason to make it bulky is even after the presentation, students can be able to understand it. So that's why it is bulky. Second point is some of you might feel that it is little philosophical, but it is not. It is 100% scientific, and all the points are 100% applicable for day in, day out in our lives. Then I have tried to include some non-food points, which at times you might, some of you might feel that those are not related, but those are 100% related, and those are need of the time. And this presentation will definitely not take you into the depth of each and every point, because this topic is very vast. The topic name is like what food tech students can do, and in such a open-ended topic, everything can be included. But what I have tried to do here is to give the directional points for the food tech students, so that they can best utilize their COVID days or Corona days, this free time, and they can be mentally and physically prepared for the post Corona activities, or for the post Corona days. I would like Mr. Prafulla, can you go to the next slide?
Yes, sir. I will.
I hope screen is visible to all. This is the first slide. This first slide tells everyone about what we are going to cover in this session. This we do not know, means this session is going to last after 45 minutes. So we will try to cover it as quickly as possible. And these are the important points which we will be covering: avoiding corona paranoia, and why we need to avoid that fear. Then COVID, it is a beautiful opportunity to know ourselves, or yourself, and how it is the great opportunity. How COVID can help in systematizing career for a food taking. This is very important point. Then career options to explore while COVID days, means what are the career options which food tech students can explore, can learn about it, can study, and then when they after post Corona, they will be market ready. Then finding area of interest in food. Then there are some study topics for food tech students, with the reasoning, means why food tech students need to study those. Those are like government, non-government food bodies, agencies, disruptive innovations, advances in food technology. Then Indian and global food regulations, changing trends during and post Corona, food trends, I mean. Then something about the health, which is of prime importance, and this is the prime wealth for all of us. Then something about entrepreneurship, which is like a single answer for many life challenges. And there are some projects which I have tried mentioning out of my till date experience and the wisdom for food technology there. And last but not least, pray for all around, and how this point is very important. So, Mr. Prafulla,
Yes, sir. We'll go to the next
can you
slide.
go to the next slide?
Yeah.
Prafulla, I hope I am
Yeah, yeah, you're
audible,
audible.
because some
Yeah, yeah.
participants. Okay.
You're good audible.
So this is the first slide. Why we need to avoid the corona paranoia. Paranoia means the fear which we create in our mind out of extra thinking about something. And right now, Corona is actually giving us the panic, and that panic leads to nowhere actually. It leads to the disaster, it leads to the losses. So we should not worry about the current situation. And there are two situations I would like to share, which I'm sure you all know. There are only two situations in our life of, about which we should not worry, and those are like, if things are our in our control, or there are some things which we cannot change, then we should not worry about it, because at last we cannot do anything about it. For example, if there are any natural calamities, for sure we cannot do anything from our side. So we should not worry about the things which are not exactly in our control. And the another situation is like stuff I can control. Definitely here we can do a lot, and things are in our hand. If we can change those things, then we should not worry about it in first place. We should actually action out all the points from our side. And in the corona situation, the stuff which we can control, I have tried to mention here few of the points, which already some of you might be knowing and taking proper care about. It's like, take care and not the fear. Exercise, then increase the intake of protein, iron, zinc, and vitamin C. As you all know, our antibodies are made up of amino acids, and that's how we need to actually increase the protein intake during these corona days. Most of the India, to our to our surprise, most of the Indians are deficient in protein and most of the other nutrients. But right now, protein is of utmost importance. Then keep mind calm. Keeping mind calm has its own importance. This is like our 50% of immunity depends on our mind. If our mind is calm, definitely whatever immunity we are having, we can use it to the fullest. Then the best remedy in all these circumstances is to support all around in need. This I'm saying as a remedy, because once we start helping others, our own problems get diluted. We actually tend to forget our own problems, and this is really a big remedy. Here I have tried to give the picture which shows that the falling tree is like a corona, but our life is like that vehicle which should go on, which must go on. Life must not stop. We should find our way out of this corona. It is going to stay with us, and we need to deal with it by taking care of the things which we can control. Next slide, please. Here, this slide is of utmost importance for anybody in life, not only food technologist, but for anyone. I actually love the questions. The reason for that is, questions only lead us to the definite destination. I would like to give one example which I always give to the students and to myself. For example, if we want to reach to a particular destination, for example, Pune, if we want to go to Pune from Mumbai, definitely there are 2 3 ways, like by air, by road, and by train. And then you can choose the way. Means if you want to go by, say, road, you can opt that road and you can reach to Pune. But in case if you don't know where you want to go, then that situation is pretty difficult, and life will take us in all the directions in that case. So the most important point in life is we need to fix our destination. We need to fix our aim, means what we need to do with our life. And for that we need to ask some questions. There are many questions, like WH questions, which we can ask to ourselves, but there are few which are very interesting, and if we ask those questions in a series to ourselves, we definitely can know ourselves in a better way. And these 3 questions in series, as per me, are like, what we need to do in our life. Once we get an answer to this what, then we need to ask why we need to do that, what we have decided. And once we get the answer to why, and once we are firm that yes, I need to do this thing like in my life, then we need to actually go to the third and important question: how I'm going to achieve that, how I'm going to reach there, how I'm going to do that. So I request all the students to actually ask these questions repetitively to yourself. It might happen so that you might not get answer in first place, or in few days. This is like a continuous process, but definitely will find the answer once you start asking it yourself continuously. And one more important point which I always appreciate about life is 70% of our time, lifetime passes in the work. So choose your work wisely, because 70% of your life is going to be spent in the field what you are going to choose. So what you love most, what is your passion, you try to identify it and enter in that field so that you can enjoy your life. Next screen, please. This slide says about finding area of interest in food and why. I looking at this current corona situation, this slide has utmost importance. The reason is nowadays lot many people are losing job. Lot many people are under fear of losing it. Those who has not lost it till now. But one point is there, and it will remain forever. Those who are expert, those who has some special skills, uh, those people definitely will not be out of job at any given point of time in life. So as a food technology student, you must actually try to identify area of interest in the food technology field. Like I have listed some of the food technology say areas which you can study, some interesting areas like automation in food processing, packaging technology, food industrial waste management, molecular biology, fermentation technology, introduction to business laws, optimization techniques in food technology, renewable energy for food processing, flavor chemistry and technology, project planning and implementation, food laws and international regulations, and food nutrition. So you choose. It's not necessary that you choose the area of area in the food from the list I have mentioned. You can choose any of the food topics, particular area of your interest. Why you need to choose it? Because once you choose it, you start doing the focus study, and then you develop the interest around that particular topic. It actually increases your confidence multifold. Take it from me, all the big guys in the food sector or in any sector, any given sector, those have reached to the levels or the highest levels because they have focused on only one topic in the initial days of their life. So choose is one of the topic of your interest, focus on that, study in depth about it, you become master of it, and definitely you will become an expert for that particular field, and you will be in demand, and gradually you will learn other fields also. But you for the progress, this is like a basic point. You must start focusing on one particular topic and then go to the next one. So Praful, next slide please. How COVID can help in systematizing career for a food techie. This slide will give you an idea what is the meaning of systematization of career and how we can achieve that. As the bottom line in yellow shade is saying, what we can control, it must be by design, it must happen by design and not by default. Meaning of it is, whatever things we can do, those things which are in our control, those should happen with our decisions. We should actually systematically put down the plan and then execute them, rather than situation ask us to actually work as per it. So things should not happen by default, it should happen by design. And particularly for making our career after food technology or during food technology, every food technology student must have a career plan which is laid down, which is put down on the paper, and how you can actually decide which career you want to, means in which field you want to do your career. This is a simplified diagram which says that the first point is we need to define our inherent skill. Every one of us has come up with inborn talents, and that those inborn talents skills are there in each one. So no one can say that no, I don't have any inborn talent. So identify those inherent skills, inborn talents, then spot interest area. Once you have inherent skills, interest areas in place, then marry your skills and your interest. For example, if you, I would like to give my own example. It's not to show up, but for the understanding. My inherent skill from the childhood was like communication and speaking with different people. That was the inherent skill, inborn. And the interest area for me was like alcohol. As far as food technology is concerned, alcoholic beverages. I always studied alcoholic beverages day in day out. Means whenever there is something about the alcohols, I usually study it till now. So what has happened? If I am thinking about these two, my first job actually was with United Breweries, Kingfisher beer. So my inherent skill of speaking and or the communication and my interest area of alcoholic beverages, I actually married them, and I did my first job with United Breweries. This is how, means you can actually um, identify which career or which field you can enter in. And the next step is to define the department in which you would like to work. So once you decide that yes, this is my skill and this is my interest area, I will go and choose this confectionery category or chocolate category or bakery category or beverage category or nutritional food category. But there are different departments in that category itself, like marketing and sales, R&D, regulatory, QA, QC, production. All these different departments are there. You must choose your interest area for department also. Once you choose the department, then the next important thing is you shortlist the companies, whatever those are there in the market. You must shortlist 5 companies you would like to work with. You study about those companies, you jot down everything about those companies, and who those who want to actually start their own business or the entrepreneurship, then they should actually find out their own business segment. And the next step is like once you shortlisted your companies, then start following those companies. For example, if I wanted to work in alcoholic beverage company, then I will shortlist 5 companies like Diageo, UB Group, USL, and then Radico. So all these 4 companies are there. There are other companies also, but amongst these 4 companies, what I will do, I will go into their websites. I will try to search about their different product ranges. Whether those are public listed companies or Indian companies or multinationals, what are the different markets they are catering into, and how their financials are. So if you start following those companies, what will happen? Automatically you start gaining the knowledge, and once that knowledge is there, once you are completing your food technology course, you will be a powerful food technology candidate for those 5 companies. So if there is any vacancy in, once you are completing your food technology course with either of once you are completing the course, if there is any vacancy with either of these companies, you will definitely be getting the job. The chances of getting job there are very higher. So we need to actually follow this path. We need to choose the companies we would like to work with. We need to design it, and it should not happen so that once we are completing the food technology, uh, well, since there are vacancies, you are going and joining those companies. No, this should not happen at all. In rarest of rare case, you can go for this option, but this, at least the career thing, it should happen by design. Then the next thing is study about all these companies what you have chosen, and definitely your career will be better. Next slide, please. So the previous one. So we discussed about how to choose the career, means how to identify the fields in which we want to make our career. So these are some different career options I have tried to mention. Generally, food technology students don't opt these fields. Uh, the food technology students, they are not opting these fields. The reason is uh, nobody actually has taught us till now that yes, these are also field and which are open for joining. But gradually, some of from some of for some of these fields, people are actually joining them, and they are actually finding that yes, we can make career in these fields. First of all, regulatory manager. You study FSSCI, you do BTech plus regulatory diploma, and you are good to go for this field, regulatory manager. Nowadays, all the big companies need the regulatory manager to manage their regulatory stuff, because with this FSSCI is evolving like anything, means every day there are new notifications, new amendments, new rules, new laws, and those must be followed by the industries. Land of the law must be followed, and for this, every big industry, they need the regulatory manager. Not even the big, every small and big industry, they need the regulatory manager. So this is an attractive field. Entrepreneurship definitely means, for regarding entrepreneurship, I would like to mention one point which I'll be covering in the next slide also. But it is not something which you should do only after doing your BTech. While doing your degree, if you find that there is an opportunity, go and grab it. Don't wait for it. There are many examples nowadays that people without completing any course, those have started new startups and they are very successful. And the legal advisor, this is again interesting. I do not know whether few people have done this combination, BTech plus LLB. I usually mention in my seminars that students must go for this combination, because the industries need legal advisors who has the domain knowledge of food domain. For example, Nestle issue you might all be knowing. For Nestle kind of issues, a company like Nestle need a strong legal advisor who has the background of food technology, who understands the nitty-gritties in food. So uh, please think about this option during Corona days. Study about it further. The next important thing is like join food media. You can do BTech and then journalism diploma. And there are now lot many news channels and lot many magazines, lot many new companies in the food media segment wherein you can join. Sales and marketing. This is the most lovely field and interesting field for me. I believe this sales and marketing provides the great opportunity for food technology students for making their careers and for actually the growth. A lot many people have the taboo in mind that sales is not something for us, for the food technologists, but this is completely a wrong notion. You try to explore in this field in sales and marketing, and definitely you will find that yes, sales and marketing is one of the lucrative field, and actually the most applicable field for a food technologist. Our knowledge gets applied here mostly. Then the food packaging expert, you can do BTech plus packaging post graduation and diploma, and you can become a food packaging expert. Next slide, please. What food tech students should study? I have put down this slide with a lot of thought process behind it. Generally, when I speak with the students, I realize that students are knowing about the subject, actual food technology subject like food chemistry, food biochemistry, molecular biology. They have in-depth knowledge. But when it comes to the government, non-government bodies, and the institutions who are managing the food industry and the regulations and the government stuffs. Food technology students are not much aware about it, but this is the need of time. Now, food technology students must know from the first year of their degree about all these government and non-government bodies, and it should not happen so that we are knowing their long forms. No, we should know how these non-government, government bodies or institutions they are working, how they are actually extending their support and help to the industry. For example, MOFI is the prime body who is actually like Ministry of Food Processing. They are coming up with lot many new schemes for the startups and for the existing food manufacturers. We should keep an eye on those schemes and their announcements, what is happening around, and most of the decisions are made are influenced by these government, non-government bodies like NIN is there, FSTI is there, IDA is there, DRDO is there, AIFPA is there. There are many. So you can actually, as a this is like a project for you all guys. You can actually search for all such bodies and then write down or make a project, note down their functionalities, and then study in depth about each one of them. This will definitely help you as an employee if you want to make a career with the company, or as an entrepreneur if you would like to start something on your own. Definitely tomorrow you need to have knowledge about all these bodies. And the second important column parameter is like you must keep an eye on disruptive innovations or the advances in food technology field. I have tried to mention very few which you might already be knowing, but you can actually go on internet, you can go to your seniors, you can go to your teachers and ask them what is new happening in the field of food technology. For example, cultured meat, it's like lab produced meat, you might have heard this terminology, but this is definitely something different, something new. And this is an answer to hunger, this is an answer for lot many problems related to the animal or the meat and the chicken industry. Then clean label products, this is talk of town as far as Europe is concerned, and some of the advanced countries uh, globally, they are adopting the clean label policy. Now I left it to you all guys to find out what is the meaning of clean label. If you, some of you already know about the clean label concept, then study about it in depth further and try to gauge when this concept is going to come in India. Then functional proteins, there are many functional proteins depending on the need of the say patient or the human being. There are different proteins created even for depending on the processing or depending on the end product. There are different types of proteins which are being produced by the ingredients companies and rolled out. Imitation meat, then food ingredients, there are a lot many innovations in the food ingredients because many food ingredients are being banned in some or other part of the world, and companies are coming up with the optional ingredients for the food manufacturers. Then packaging and machinery innovations. This segment is definitely lucrative as far as jobs and career is concerned. Lot many food technology students are actually neglecting the packaging and machinery industry. The applicability of food technologists in these two fields has increased multifold during last 10 years or last one decade, and it is going to increase further. So I request you find out many more such kind of disruptions, put them down, then study in depth. These disruptions will definitely help you in getting the direction for choosing your careers or starting your own business. Then the Indian and global food regulations. Without regulation, nothing is going to happen for any kind of field, whether it is food or non-food. So as far as food is concerned, you study about FSSAI in depth. You study about IFSA, those are like European regulations. Then about FDA, then Codex guidelines, and amongst all these, the three are very important: FSCCI, IPSA, and Codex. For I mean, for sure, if somebody is doing business with United States, AOS FDA is also very important. But one must study IPSA, FSCCI, and Codex in sync. The reason I'm saying so is all the future products, say after one decade from now, all the future products are going to come as per the rules and regulations laid by these three bodies, because they follow each other continuously. Then the changing trends during and post corona, I had written a small article kind of thing on this and posted it on the friends WhatsApp group. not published it anywhere. Out of these means I have tried to mention some points which are already known in the market, and you might agree for some of those. Like, there is a growth trend for health and wellness food products, and they are going to grow further post corona, also post covid also. Then people are now treating food as a medicine, which is like the best thing what has happened to the food industry. Now that means the awareness of the end consumer has increased, and they know what they are eating right now. Means it was not happening till now. People were eating food just because it was available, and or just because they were hungry. But this is not going to happen henceforth. It will happen in some cases, but most of the people will be very aware while taking their food. Uh, there will be challenges for the Horeca segment, like hotel, restaurant, and catering industry. Then there will be increase in digital buying or e-commerce as far as food industry is concerned, or any other industry is concerned. Then growth will be there for the indigenous food products or the home cooked food. I leave it up to you to guess the new evolving trends, and you gain the knowledge, and you can actually gauge the evolving trends through your knowledge and your applied wisdom. This will definitely help each one of you. Next slide, please. Yes, some of you might say that we already know this, and how a food technology student need to know about it. But as a human being, if our health is not good, we cannot do anything, we cannot achieve anything in life. And when it comes to the health, there are two most important parameters: mental health and physical health. Nowadays, people are much more aware about the physical health, but very few are aware about the mental health. And I would like to tell firmly here that mental health is the precursor of our physical health, because the mental health comes first and then the physical health. Even if we are eating good food, if we are exercising, we are having good habits, it will not matter if our mental health is not good, if we are not taking care of our mental health. So how one can take care of the mental health? It's like reading. Rather than spending much of the time on mobile, even if you are spending time on mobile, spend time on something which is worthy, or area of your interest, something which will give knowledge to you, something which will do value addition to you, your family, and your friends. So while reading, what we must read: autobiographies, startup stories, religious books. And I would like to reiterate here that all the religious books are not actually the religious books. Those are like scientific books, and there is a science of mind in those, and those are written by the scientist. This is my personal belief, and this is very much applicable. And I request each one of you, if you can read Guru Granth Sahiba, if you can read Quran, if you can read Bible, Gita, all the different religious books, and definitely you will find that all those are in sync. All the books are saying the same thing, and all those are scientific. Then you must read about the investment and finance, because this is also a very important point for the mental peace. Then as far as physical health is concerned, we must do the activities like meditation, yoga, exercise. And very important point: don't rely on your family members for the small activities like taking water, drinking water. We actually have the habit to ask drinking water to one of our family members. Stop that habit. Eh, Whenever you are thirsty, you go to that drinking pot, take the water, and drink it yourself. Don't ask it to anyone. How you are busy you are. Next slide, please. Then this is again a lovely area, or the beautiful area. And why I'm saying lovely or beautiful, because entrepreneurship is, as per me, is the sole answer for multiple challenges which happen in the human life, or the social life, or the society life. Once someone starts entrepreneurship, they actually start seeing that all the problems are fading away, and they have answer for multiple challenges happening around in the society. So as far as entrepreneurship is concerned, there are few basic thumb rules which we must understand. If some of you know already, this will be like a reiteration, and you can remind yourself, and I am also reminding myself while telling it to you, that try to find the problems you are facing or we are facing. The problems what we are facing actually are the opportunities for business. Any kind of problem is an opportunity, any kind of problem. For example, in my area, there were no e-commerce services for delivering the milk for 15 days in Pune. Right now, I'm not in Pune, but say 1 month back, there was nobody. I literally need to find out the solution. I got the solution afterwards, but it was like the indicator that yes, there is an opportunity for the home delivery of different kinds of food stuff, including milk. Then likewise, there are many problems you might be facing. Try to keep your mind antennas open, try to sense those problems, write down the problems what you are facing on daily basis, and definitely you will find your startup idea in those problems, because problems is equal to opportunity. This is the basic thumb rule. Then the next thumb rule is, there is no age or education bar for being an entrepreneur. You can start your business at any age, whether you are doing your btech right now. Also, if some of you feel that yes, you have some idea which is worth implementing, go ahead and launch it, don't wait. I would like to give most common example, which most of you might be knowing already, Mr. Ritesh Agarwal. I usually give the example of this young chap. I'm sure there are many more examples, but Ritesh Agarwal's example is most visible. If you go on YouTube, you will find it very easily. This young chap started his business when he was 17 years of age. The business what he's doing is Oyo. Before that also he did lot many small businesses, but the business uh, he started it in Delhi. He was from the other state. He came to Delhi, lying to his father and mother that he is going there for the education. And actually he was not going to the college. He was following his personal passion, and that's how he was able to create the Oyo enterprise, which is like more than 3,000 crore revenue entity right now. And he is just 26 years old. You can imagine, there is no age or education bar for starting the business or for being an entrepreneur. Focus on what is beneficial. The next important point, if you want to start something, you take example of Tata, you take a string or inspiration from the Tata kind of organizations. Whatever they start something which is beneficial for the society. And this is the need of time to start a business which is actually benefiting to the society. So whatever you are thinking, you try to judge whether whatever I'm thinking, whether it is good for society or not, whether it is going to help society or not. And then most important point, the fourth point is like, think big but start small, and believe in your idea. The most common mistake what we do is like, we feel that we are a student. For example, you now are studying, you might be feeling that you are a student and what you can do right now. That is very wrong notion. And we actually compromise in dreaming big, thinking big. It does not cost a single penny, and nobody restricts us for dreaming big. And actually the thing starts from that point onwards only. Once we start thinking big, thinking for the society, we actually start exploring our energies, realizing our energies. And yes, that's how the last point, last para is also saying the same thing. If you have something worth rolling out, then study it, analyze it, analyze it for the major risks. And if you feel that there are no major risks, and then align whatever resources you have in hand and roll out that startup. Don't wait. And if you have any problem, if you face any problems, you can come to me. I will connect you with many of the food technology stalwarts who are actually helping many of the startups. Next slide, please. This is something which all food technology students can do during Corona days, and even the employees like me who are not students anymore. those also in their leisure time that can go and do these projects. But specifically, these projects are for the students. The first important project is label study. I uh, I'm sure some of you might have done this, but in our childhood we used to stick different papers, different pictures on our drawing books and mention information about those pictures. For example, pictures of some historical leaders, paste them and write some information about it. Likewise, you can do that project for the labels. And why you should do this project literally, the reason is the most happening thing in the field of food technology is taught by the labels, not by the teacher, not by the industry, not by anyone, because nobody knows it in full except labels. Labels are the greatest teachers and a path guiding stone. So if you once you start studying labels, you will be surprised to know the amount of knowledge you are gaining out of it, because label has the information about the ingredients being used, uh, the uh, these claims that company or manufacturer is making, whether those claims are aligned with the ingredients, what kind of nutritional benefits that food product is providing. So label tells us what is actually running in the market, what masses are liking, and what manufacturers are manufacturing. It gives you a direction if you want to start your entrepreneurship, or if you want to make your career as an employee in any field. This will be a directional, say, a guide for you once you are studying the labels and you are done with the label study. I am emphasizing more on the label because this is really something which teaches us a lot. Please keep it in mind. Then note what we eat at home. Try to note down what your family members are buying generally from the market. Don't try to restrict them. Just observe what you are eating, what you are buying at your home. So those are like the parts of the trends. What you are buying at home, what you are eating means the trend of that thing is going on. It is so simple. Then the preparation for interview, third point. Most of you might be thinking that this is too early to prepare for the interviews, but take it from me, corona has given a beautiful opportunity for preparing for you to be market ready. So while preparing for the interview, you can prepare on different points, but the most important point is preparing your own introduction. This is very small point, very simple point, but very important point. Once you prepare your own introduction, you actually instill a big amount of confidence in yourself for facing any kind of interview, because the start of any interview happens with this unsaid question: introduce yourself. Oh, since you are already having an answer for that question, you start with the confidence. And the start of the start when you start with the confidence, you end with the confidence. The chances of you being getting employed early increases multifold. Then the communication skill. In the communication skill, it is not very important to have good speaking skills. Even if you are not good at speaking, you must be good at writing. Written communication skills are very much important for the industry and for being an entrepreneur, for making good career, for growth in your career. Written communication skills are very important. And you must learn excel, because everywhere you go henceforth, excel is going to be with you, one or other form of the excel. So once you learn the excel in depth, definitely you will be having an added advantage compared to thousands of other food technology students or any other employees. Then you can learn about the blockchain technology. I leave it up to you to study about it. Some of you might have already studied about it, but what is blockchain technology, why it is needed, and how it is helpful for the food industry? There is a very interesting article written by Sanjay Kumar Sharma. You can actually go and read that article on foodpatshala.com. Then use of artificial intelligence in food industry. Use of AI has increased and it is going to increase multifold. There are labor issues, there are hygiene issues, and there are production issues. So in order to overcome all these issues, artificial intelligence is of utmost importance. It is an imperative part for the food manufacturers. Preparing project report for business. If some of you want to start a new business, the first thing you need to do or you must do is to prepare the project report. For example, if you want to start a peanut butter, and you must study how to prepare the project report for starting a peanut butter manufacturing plant. There are very good project reports on the district industrial websites who are actually supporting for the small and medium scale industries on the district level. If you go on those websites, you will find different types of projects and you will get an idea how to write the project. A project consists of the risk analysis, competition analysis, machinery needed, finance needed, labor cost, overhead costs, packaging material costs, raw material costs, processings needed, and then the market, you will be marketing your product, and at last the break even point. This is a beautiful tool for any kind of food technology, any food technology student, whether you want to be an employee or whether you want to be an entrepreneur. Everyone of must know how to write a project, how to create a business project for a food manufacturing setup. Then if some of you are interested in writing the blogs or articles in the areas of your interest or the expertise, please do that. Do not hesitate. Do not uh, think about other people's, what people will think, how I am going to get the response. Don't ever think about it, as time in our life is very limited. If you have some expertise, if you have developed some wisdom around any particular topic, then share that wisdom with the people around. Take it from me, when you share your wisdoms get multifold. You learn more. While teaching, while sharing, you learn twice. So if you have something in your mind, then put it on the paper, put it on the videos, share it with the others. Then study of life cycle of major food products. Actually, uh, you should, all the students, you should actually study these life cycles for major food products, one product per semester. I am saying one product per semester. I'll tell you it in the next slide. Next slide, please. So this is the life cycle example, life cycle of any product or any given thing. This is a proven management phenomenon, and this is the proven life phenomenon. This simply means whatever bonds is going to die. You take example of any living, non-living thing. You take example of television technology or mobile technology or a human being or animal or electricity or anything, any kind of energy format which is available today is going to die gradually. It is going to vanish. Die means it is going to vanish. So this example here about Maruti 800, it is actually very exemplary and it is very visible. There are 4 phases for life cycle and for anything, living or non-living things. For Maruti 800, if we take the example, it started way back in 1983. Then it observed the growth phase. There are 4 phases for 4 phases in any life cycle: introduction phase, growth phase, maturity phase, and decline stage. So Maruti 800 started in 83. They observed growth, a huge growth till 1996, and then they observed the maturity stage during 97 to 2000, and they actually started declining from 2003, and they vanished from the market after 2008 or 2010. There are many other examples which has vanished from the market, like Nokia is there, Canon camera is there, BlackBerry is there. Even our Indian rituals or the global rituals, what we follow from our ancient days, lot many rituals have vanished. and lot many will vanish. Some new rituals will come. So almost everything has the birth and has the death. If you understand this simple phenomenon, it is applicable for any given food product available on the shelf right now. So if you take an example of the chips or the biscuits or the beverages, whatever is available today, tomorrow it is going to actually die or either change its format. I have given some examples here of the introduction, growth, and maturity phase. For example, as far as food technology is concerned, multigrain chips, health snacks, food delivery firms, and nutraceutical products, those are observing introduction phase everywhere in India and globally also. Then growth phase, Tesla is the electric car company. It's not available everywhere around the globe, but as far as United States is concerned, they are actually observing the growth phase. They have already surpassed the introduction phase there. Then the nacho chips in India, those are observing the growth phase. Lot many companies are actually launching the nacho chips. There are as many as 18 nachos chips manufacturers in India, and the number is going to grow in near future. This was very much surprising for me initially. Then the Indian QSR chains with local products, those are also observing the growth phase. Maturity phase, if you take the example of Android, what we are using, or the iOS system, those are actually saturated now. Those are observing the maturity phase. They are not going to grow further or more. The only thing what will happen is like the customer base will change from here to there. And then as far as food industry is concerned, then the Maggie observing the uh, maturity phase, and the Coca-Cola is observing the maturity phase. So all these products are either going to die or change their format. Please, next slide, please. So why we are discussing on this life cycle? The reason I'm sharing it with you, because I want you all to study during Corona days and even after the Corona days or COVID days about the life cycle of different food products which are available around you. Open your mind antennas, open your senses, observe keenly on the products available on shelf, and try to analyze when they have launched this product in India or globally, and whether those are in introduction phase or growth phase or maturity phase, or already they are in the decline phase, and whether those are going to die or those are going to change their format. I have given one small example of life cycle of HFSS food products. HFSS here means high fat, salt, and sugar products. Those HFSS products are under radar globally as per the global regulatory bodies and WHO. Specifically pertaining to the children's category or the kids category, WHO feels, or every government feels, that children must not eat much of fast food or high fat, salt, sugar food, which is not very much healthy for the body. So why these HFSS foods will vanish from the market, or why they possess the potential threat? The reasons or the factors are, for any kind of life cycle or any product life cycle, the most important parameter is regulation. If regulations are changing for any country, definitely that country has to follow land of the law. And if land of the law regulation is changing, every manufacturer must need to align with the regulator. For example, FSSAI has laid down some rules for the labels. So every manufacturer must abide with the labeling laws while creating their label. If somebody is actually diverting from the labeling regulations, definitely FSSAI is going to prosecute them, enforce them to change their label. So regulations in any country, those are like, this is the primary reason for affecting the life cycle of any product. If tomorrow the traffic light system, you might have heard about the traffic light system. If tomorrow traffic light system comes in India on the basis of the global standards, definitely lot many food manufacturers need to change the fat, sugar, and salt content in their product. they need to revamp their products. And if some products are not supporting in terms of the processing because of the reduction in the fat or salt or sugar, then they need to actually go out of the market. So this is the factor. Regulation is the factor which can actually alter any kind of product. Then changing lifestyle, then diseases or the life threats, particularly non-communicable diseases like diabetes and the heart diseases. Those are on rise globally, not only in India. Yes, of course, in India also those are on rise. So people are becoming more aware about what they should eat and what they should not eat, what is healthy for them, what is good for them, what is not good for them. So once consumers stop buying unhealthy stuff, definitely consumer or manufacturers are forced to change their products or the product format. They need to do the R&D, they need to change their product. Then education and awareness, FSSA and other government, non-government bodies, they are creating a lot of awareness in the end consumers on what they should eat and how much they should eat and when they should eat. This awareness is also one of the factor which will affect the life cycle of many products. Then convenience and the boredom. We actually easily get bored with the products. A person cannot actually eat or drink one single product for 20 years continuously or 30 years continuously. Definitely there is going to be a change. And what are the possible remedies actually to avoid the life cycle threats? Manufacturers need to sense the changes early, revamp their products early, study the global trends, study regulations, sense the changes in the regulations, or foresee what are the regulatory changes which are going to happen. Accordingly, they can actually make some changes in their product and innovate. Once they are innovating, definitely they will sustain in the market. So this is very important slide, and major task I would like to give it to you is like you start finding the products in the market and you start putting down those on the paper and analyze them in which particular stage or phase those products are, whether those are going to vanish or not. And why it is important, this study will give you the direction which career field you should choose, which entrepreneurship field you should choose or venture out into. So please do this project. Next slide, please. This is not related to the food technology. This is related to the human technology. Human technology. Why I'm saying human technology? Prayers are actually the proven scientific meditation practices, which helps either of the party means it helps to the person who is actually praying for someone, and it also helps to the person for whom the prayer has been done or the prayer has been made. And I firmly believe in it. Being a food technologist, being an educated human being, and being an Indian, I really believe in the prayers. I am not asking you to believe in any kind of religion, but do pray. And prayer does not necessarily mean you chant any mantra. No, you actually need to pray for the fellow human beings. So right now we are facing a global crisis, global humanity crisis, and we must pray for fellow Indians. We must pray for fellow human beings globally, not only from India. And what kind of prayers we can do? The first one is we can pray for early recovery of the patients, corona patients, particularly globally. We can pray for, and we must pray for giving the strength to the family uh, of the patient, corona patient. And we must pray peace for the disease or the departed soul because of corona. And how it is important to pray, I would like to give you one chemical reaction reference. There are some hormones which gets released only when you donate. There are some hormones which gets released only when you pray for others, and those does not release in your lifetime if you are not praying. he is actually gradually getting the customers. There are not lot many customers for the food products, but for non-food, he has got lot many of them. But what he is saying, as per him, definitely in near future there will be a niche customer segment for the 3D printed food. But this field is evolving. It needs a lot of further R&D. Definitely this is going to happen. People will come up with very fine tuned 3D printed food. But
Yeah.
right now I do not have much knowledge about it. I'll take the knowledge and will pass on to the concerned person.
Yeah. Thank you very much.